Friends, every year on 26th of November, Constitution Day is celebrated across this country. And when it comes to the making of Constitution, which is based on secular ideas, Republican idea, our Constitution is based on social justice. We have to remember the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Baba Sahib Ambedkar role in making of Constitution is great. Not many people know that when Constitution was almost drafted, it was ready after years of hard work on November 25th, 1949. Ambedkar gave a speech and it was perhaps his concluding remarks. Next day, the Constituent Assembly adopted it, and we know this fact very well that our Constitution, our Samvidhan has been in force, has been in practice since 26th of January 1950. So, this occasion is very appropriate to remember what Dr. Bhim Ambedkar, the architect of Indian Constitution, has said. What is his idea about Constitution, democracy? And in Indian society, you know that it is based on a contradiction. We have political equality at the top. Our Constitution is very much secular, egalitarian, but our society is very much caste driven. It is based on caste based inequality. It is also based on class based inequality. And in many sense, those who are lower caste, they are also poor, and those who are poor, they often come from lower caste. So how could in this country, Baba Sahib Ambedkar has thought, democracy and caste based society can go together? It is a contradiction, and Ambedkar is talking about this very contradiction. While 26th of November is a great occasion for us to celebrate this Constitution, but this is also an occasion to reflect on the limits of Indian democracy, the caste and class based Indian society, and what is the big challenge before Indian democracy. So Ambedkar rose and he started speaking. He gave very brief and also very important speech. In this short period of time, we are not going to say everything what Dr. Ambedkar has said. So what I will do, I will take 4 points. The four major points which Ambedkar said about Indian Constitution, inequality in the society, parliamentary democracy and its limit, and what are the challenges before Indian parliamentary democracy. The first thing which Ambedkar has said is very relevant today. He said that good constitution, good laws are not going to ensure justice to people. In other words, good constitution, a constitution based on secular idea, egalitarian idea, is in itself not complete. So to make a constitution work, we need good people. So Ambedkar has very beautifully expressed it that bad constitution, if it is being implemented by good people, people with good intention, then justice can be ensured. But you write best constitution, and if it is going to be handled by the bad people, people from oppressing classes, then justice will not be done. So in my reading, Ambedkar is very much emphasizing the caste character of executive, the class nature of executive, and also the role of human agency. I will give you one example. A woman is, let's assume, if a woman is attacked by, let's say, a male in bus or in a station or anywhere, and if she goes to police station, we have very good laws for the protection of the interests of the women. But if the police inspector is a male, if that person is not going to understand the pain, the agony of that woman, justice will not be done. And if the police inspector is a female, if she understands the problem of women, then the victim is likely to get justice. So the main point which Ambedkar is saying, that who is going to implement those laws, who are going to sit at decision making meeting, who is going to decide the policies for the people, what is their caste and class background and gender background, what is their intention, these are more important than something great which is written on a piece of paper. So this concern of Dr. Ambedkar has unfortunately come true in India. We have SC and ST Atrocities Act, laws against SC and ST, but in very few cases justice is given. We have laws against untouchability, but untouchability is still practiced. We have reservation, but that reservation is not being fully implemented, because those who are sitting in interview board, those who are giving marks, they do not understand the problem of the lower caste. Why? Because the class nature, the caste nature of our executive, they are biased against lower caste and Dalits and women and the Bahujans. So this is very important thing. The basis for reservation is this only, that howsoever great law you have a great constitution, but if people are not coming from deprived section, justice will not be done. And sometimes this very important point is missed out by those who often oppose reservation, and they argue that, oh, why reservation, this Dalit leader has got this much wealth, why his son should get reservation. But the person who is opposing reservation has never understood, or he is not willing to understand the problem that we need people from deprived background. And Ambedkar has said elsewhere that if a person who is coming from upper caste, that person is likely to fulfill the interest of himself and his class. He will never, or he is unlikely to understand the problem of the minorities, the lower caste, the Bahujans. That is why there is a formula, reservation, appropriate representation. And Ambedkar has also said not only appropriate reservation but effective reservations. The second point which Ambedkar is saying is that politics and bhakti, that is hero worshipping, considering somebody great, should not go together. He has said that in religion, bhakti, hero worship, considering somebody great, blindly following somebody may lead to salvation of spirit, may lead to salvation of self. But in politics, if we start worshipping somebody, if there is a hero worship, then there will be problem. Our democracy will be in peril. Now, Ambedkar said this very fact that don't follow anybody blindly, be critical, be rational, questions everything. Every leader, every executive is accountable to people. That concern of Ambedkar is completely forgotten. And why? Today you go and see newspaper, social media, one particular leader, everybody is saying, thank you leader ji, thank you leader ji, everywhere. His picture is everywhere. Everywhere. If you have to get your vaccine injected, vaccine against coronavirus, even on the certificate, the picture of the leader is there. So in politics, what is happening? Hero worshipping. One leader is deciding everything. In parliamentary democracy, you know, Prime Minister has got the same power as his other colleagues in cabinet. Prime Minister is only first among equal. But our politics is driven by one leader. It has been happening for a long time. So the second concern for Ambedkar is, do not hero worship anybody. Nobody is outside the purview of question. Everybody should be scrutinized. But unfortunately in India, election is being fought in the name of one leader. If party wins the election, then that hero is given credit. If party loses the election, then you have to blame not the leader but everything else. So the first point Ambedkar said, good people are more important than good constitution. That means that we need people from the marginalized community at decision making process. Second point he said, never hero worship. Never treat anybody like God. Never follow anybody uncritically. The third point Ambedkar has said, which is also very relevant today, he was talking about the methods, the political methods, how the deprived communities should achieve their social and economic goals. He has basically, Ambedkar believed very strongly that politics should not be based on emotion. Politics should not be based on slogans. Politics should not be based on arousing the communal sentiments of the people. Politics and religion should be separated. He was against emotive politics. He believed that constitutional path, legal path, they are important. And that is why Ambedkar has criticized satyagraha, the method of satyagraha, even non-cooperation and extra constitutional, unconstitutional method. Gandhiji was big supporter of satyagraha, but Ambedkar has a bitter experience. You know it very well. Some other day I will be talking about Pune Pact. Britishers gave separate electorate to Dalits and Mahatma Gandhi sat on hunger strike. So Ambedkar was forced to give up on separate electorate in favor of joint electorate. And in joint electorate, a Dalit candidate has to be dependent on the votes of non-Dalits. In that case, Dalit candidate is not able to articulate the interest of his own community. And now we have a large number of Dalit MPs in parliament, but they are not able to speak for their own community. Why? Because they are dependent on their parties. They fear that if they too much, within quote, if they talk about their community's interest, the leaders who are sitting at the top in their own party, who are upper caste, they will not give ticket next time. And today, winning election is the game of money and muscle power and political backup. So this satyagraha, this hunger strike, these were seen very negatively by Ambedkar, because he thought that Mahatma Gandhi put pressure on him, and what the British government gave to the Dalits, that you could have separate electorate, that was withdrawn. And some scholars who come from Dalit background, they argue that it was historic defeat as far as the political empowerment of Dalit is concerned. The third point, which is very, very relevant today, economic democracy, social democracies versus political democracy. Ambedkar was aware of this fact. He was aware of the caste-based and class-based contradictions within the society. Our society is unequal and we have a political structure which is equal. I will give you one example. In your family, you have a servant. Suppose you have a servant. The servant is coming, the servant is sweeping your floor, he is cooking, he is washing utensil. And when tomorrow election happens, your vote, the vote of the master and the vote of the servant is the same, 1, 1, 1. If your income is, let's say, 5,000 rupees per month, your vote will get one weight, and if big industrialists, they also have got one vote. But one thing you have to keep in mind, that the moment the servant has cast his vote, inequality reappears. You have got good house, you have got good salary, you have got all social economic capital. On the other hand, the servant who is able to vote, exercise his political right, he has got equal political right, equal opportunity, but in reality that person is placed unequally. So Ambedkar is saying that political equality is there, that should be welcomed. We are not against political equality. Ambedkar was not against political equality, but political equality minus economic inequality and social inequality are useless. I will give you one example. Any person can fight election, okay? A rich can fight, poor person can also fight. But why those people who have got money, those people who have got connections, they win, and Aam Aadmi, common man, loses the elections? Why? It is because common man is politically empowered but not socially and economically. I was reading last night the book of well-known journalist and author P. Sainath. Everybody loves a drought, and in that book he is basically talking about that very few people in India, they control majority of the wealth. You read this contradiction which is there, you just reflect for a while. India is considered as 4th or 5th largest economy in this world, but in Human Development Index, India is doing very badly. India is considered as one of the most backward region. You see this contradiction. India is considered the largest democracy. At the same time, India is also home of millions of people who are poor, illiterate, ill. So Ambedkar was absolutely aware of this fact, that in this constitution civil rights are given, individual rights are given, but social and economic rights are not given. They are not underscored so prominently as civil and individual rights. Those who know the complexities of Indian constitution, they are aware of this fact, that civil rights, individual rights, liberty, freedom, they are part of fundamental rights, and fundamental rights cannot be taken back. They are guaranteed. Constitution is giving citizen protection. A state cannot take away your individual rights. For example, whom you want to marry, what you want to eat, where you want to live, whether you want to follow any particular religion or not, what is your choice, where you want to take admission, equal opportunities. These are all part of civil and political rights. They are all given. Police cannot arrest you without following due process. You are free to have your association. You are free to cast anybody. You are free to criticize government. You are free to express yourself. So these rights are basically, in political science we say, political and civil rights. They are there. They are protected. They are sacrosanct. Government cannot take away. But as far as economic rights is concerned, that protection is not given in our constitution. That is why the left oriented scholars, they criticize Indian constitution, and Ambedkar was aware of this fact. And you know that in our constitution there are two parts. Some rights are given in fundamental rights which cannot be taken away, but some rights are given in directive principle of state policies. Directive principle of state policies are those rights. For achieving those rights, you cannot go to court. Unless those rights are implemented into law, the judiciary cannot hold a state accountable for that. Why you are not implementing? Why you are denying those rights to citizens? So the point is that the social rights, the economic rights, they are there but they are not prominently highlighted. They are not given legal protection. For example, untouchability is banned, but caste is not banned. You can apply in colleges, nobody can deny admission to you on the basis of caste, class, gender. For example, you want to apply for Delhi University, so and you belong to A caste. Nobody can say, okay, I will give you form to only B caste, I will not give you form to A caste. But if the price of the form is 2000 rupees, if the fees is 1 lakh rupees, then you will not be able to apply. So in society, what is happening, that people are not able to grow, people are not able to develop, because they are socially and economically deprived. Marx, in Jewish Question, the very famous essay, has also pointed the same issue in a different manner. Marx has said that look at the contradiction of the modern state. Modern state has created equality in political domain. Modern state has nothing to do with your caste, your religion, your region, and this is what bourgeois scholar is celebrating, that this is great Inquilab, this is great revolution. In the feudal society, you are discriminated on the basis of, let's say, your caste, your community, your religion, your gender, and even workers were tied. They cannot run away, they cannot have their free choice of work. But in capitalism, in modern society, worker can choose their work. They can decide to work here. Tomorrow, if they want to leave that place, they can go. In capitalism, the voting right of rich and poor same, women same. Nobody can deny your social and economic right. If you go to any hotel, in a restaurant to eat food, and if somebody says that I will not give you food in this plate, you can go to court, and that owner of the restaurant will be in jail. But if you do not have money, if you are poor, then you will not get food, and you cannot go to court to say that since I do not have money, that hotel has denied me food, so you should take action against them. So in a very easy way, I am trying to convey that political rights are given, but economic rights and social rights are not given. In democratic India, in modern India, how much caste is being practiced? You know very well. People say that, oh, whatever Manu has said, he said thousands years back, this is not in force. It is in force. You enter any upper caste people's kitchen, lower caste are not allowed. What you eat, whom you marry, how you marry, your sanskara, your class network, your caste network, they are all determined by the caste. And even Professor Sukhdev Thorat and other people have done a study that if you belong to upper caste and if you write your surname that clearly says that you belong to upper caste, then you are likely to be called in interview if you apply. And if your name says that you belong to lower caste, you will not get the call. So many people argue that in modern city, caste is not there. Caste is only there in villages. And my argument is that caste is very much in practice in modern city also, in urban areas also. But form gets changed. Caste which is practiced in rural area may not be practiced in the same way in cities. So Ambedkar's concern is that democracy, parliamentary democracy can only survive, can only be successful if we are able to address social and economic inequality. Unfortunately, that inequality has not been addressed, and Ambedkar has also warned, he said it very clearly 73 years back, that if we are not going to address this issue, social and economic inequality, then the marginalized classes, the poor people, the lower caste, the oppressed, they will come up, they will come to the street and they will blow up the structure of this parliamentary democracy for which we have taken so much pain and labor to make it. So Ambedkar has said it very clearly to ruling classes that okay, you have done good thing by establishing parliamentary democracy, but parliamentary democracy can only work can only be successful, the freedom can only be restored, can only be maintained if we are going to address social and economic inequality. In the very speech, Ambedkar has also given references, historical references, by saying that this country came under foreign rule for many times. It is because of the fact that we did not address the contradiction within our society. So Ambedkar said, address this social and economic inequality, then parliamentary democracy will be successful. Unfortunately, friends, the direction of our country is going in a way where creating wealth is more important than distribution of the wealth. Today's India, making nation great is more important than making people happy. So Ambedkar is very relevant, and on this occasion, on Constitution's Day, we have to remember Ambedkar's ideals, we have to remember his concerns, and we have to work together for creating society equal. We have to challenge this inequality. So this is what I have to say on Bhim Ambedkar's concept of constitution and parliamentary democracy. You should also give your comment. Thank you very much.